Hi there, my name is Alana and today I am so excited to be playing with the brand new Pat McGrath Bridgerton collection. When this was announced, I was so into it. Pat McGrath is one of my favorite brands, especially when it comes to eyeshadow. And Bridgerton, I mean, who hasn't binge watched it? Like, is the next season out yet? Anyways, I was just so excited. Now there's something really special about when a show that you love and a piece of intellectual property, whether that is a TV show, a movie, a brand, something nostalgic, when it's two things that you love coming together and creating something that you know you're going to enjoy. I mean, look, there have been a lot of really weird collaborations over the last year or two. I'm looking at you, Elf and Chipotle, in case you're wondering. There's been a lot of weird collaborations, but this one, there's something about it that just feels so right. We have a beautiful British makeup artist with an incredible brand, a brand known for luxury. We have Bridgerton, which is just, to me, it's all about that sort of old world, old-timey luxury, but they put such a fun and colorful spin on it. So to bring those two things together, I think is so exciting. So today I am decked out in pearls. I have a little bumblebee bracelet that my friend Madeline made for me, and I'm so excited. So we are going to start this video by applying this makeup. I love the look that I put together. I do not want to take it off tonight. I know I'm gonna have this video to remember it by, but I love the look I put together. And after we put the makeup on my face, we're gonna take a look at swatches. We're gonna chat a little bit about the collection. I'm gonna share what I love about it. I'm gonna share some areas that I think it could have been even better. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, I am so excited to dig into this palette. I mean, like, just look at it. Just look at it. It is so beautiful. I have got all my pearls on. I feel like it's a very Bridgerton look. And I'm so excited to play with this beautiful palette. The only thing I'm gonna say, and we will discuss this in the review portion of the video, I'm not necessarily a fan of the bright pink, so I'm gonna try to create a look that really focuses on the blue being the star. So in true Alana fashion, I'm gonna be starting with my Rephr #1 brush, and I'm gonna be taking this beautiful pinky champagne shade. It's called Iconic Ingenue, and I'm gonna be placing that all over my lids. Now, is it just me, or was the word ingenue nowhere in our lives? And then Taylor Swift releases that album and boom, I think it's just kind of everywhere. Or is it the kind of word that we just didn't notice? Anyways, these are the thoughts that swirl in my head. Okay, so we are taking this beautiful shade and placing it all over the lid. Now, I know a lot of people will say that it's a boring shade, that everyone has a champagne, etc. Well, everyone has a champagne because everyone needs a champagne. And I really don't like having to dip into other palettes to make it work. So I love having a champagne shade. I start most of my looks with a champagne shade like this. I like to work it into the lid, and then I also like to work it just a touch under my eye. The next shade that we'll be using is described as a velvety plum taupe matte. So this shade is called Plum Regalia. So I'm gonna be going in with my Wayne Goss 17 brush, and I'm going to just make sure to tap it off. I find that Pat's shades can be very pigmented, and right now I just wanna build the shape of my look, so I don't wanna go in too heavy. So we're gonna be using this shade to bring our depth and dimension. And I have to say, this is so pretty. I am gonna keep on tapping it off because I wanna keep this look really controlled. I have a vision in my mind of what it's gonna look like. I'm not sure if it's gonna work out, but I have a vision. One thing I love about Pat's shadows is with the mattes, it is just so easy to blend out and build up and to just get something that's just soft and elevated. But at the same time, you're not sacrificing having that bold, dramatic look if that's what you're going for. So we're gonna repeat that over here. Using my MAC 219, I'm gonna go with that same shade just on sort of the outer third of my eye to just have something to blend it in on our lower lash line. Whew. I promise that this watering eye is, I'm just crying at how beautiful it is, and not because I stabbed my eyeball with a pencil brush. I promise this is emotional. We're gonna go with that because as obviously as a very important beauty influencer, nothing bad ever happens with makeup. So we're just gonna live in that fantasy, okay? I'm living in a Bridgerton fantasy, so please support me in that. Now this part I'm excited about. We're going to be using Duchess Divinity. So this is one of her metallic shadows, and this is described as a platinum rose metallic. So taking my Rephr #1 brush, I'm going to apply this on the outer half of my eye. Oh wow. Oh my gosh, this is so, so beautiful. Guys, that was just one coat. It just applied like an absolute dream. Oh my gosh. Now I am just gonna blend this in a little bit. I'm loving this monochromatic kind of plummy purple look. Oh my god. Okay, so we have that blended in. So now I'm gonna be taking my Pat McGrath Intensify Artistry Wand. And I've never used this on camera before, but I purchased this with the Utopian Dreams. So I'm going to just take this and apply it on the inner half of my eye. I think it needs another click up. Now, if you don't have this product, that's okay. You can go in with the glitter glue. So next we're going to be going in with Regency Blue. Now, Regency Blue is the Blitz Astral in this palette. And to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time that she's including a Blitz Astral in a 6-pan, which I think is super cool. So this shade is described as an iridescent blue astral. So I'm going to use my finger. Using my finger is my favorite way to go in with, oh wow. I can't even finish that sentence. Okay, using a finger is my favorite way to go in with her Blitz Astrals, but guys, oh my gosh. Yeah, this definitely just makes the blue so much bluer. I was swatching it on my hand. I put up a little Instagram reel before filming this, and oh my gosh, you guys, this, can you see that? It's like a Cinderella, that's like a perfect Cinderella blue. Honestly, this shade is why I bought the palette. You guys, you have to see this on the finger. Look at that shade. So I'm gonna take a clean blending brush. This is Rougher 16, and I just want to kind of diffuse the edges a little bit because I really do want this look to be soft and ethereal and not super harsh. I did have a little bit of fallout on my cheeks with the Blitz Astral, so I'm just going back in underneath with the foundation I'm wearing. I'm wearing Charlotte Tilbury's Beautiful Skin Foundation, in part because I want to continue to test it, and in part because I thought it would be such an appropriate choice to wear today, because one of the faces of the campaign is the beautiful Phoebe Denver, who plays Miss Daphne Bridgerton. So for my blush today, I wanted to keep it soft and pink, but also keeping with the theme. So I'm going to be using the shade Nymphette. Now this is one of Pat's blushes that I have in a single. Now this blush was available in a trio from this collection. Now I could not justify purchasing this from the trio because the brighter pink shade I didn't think would be particularly flattering on me, slash it didn't like really draw me in. I already had Nymphette, and so I'd be really just paying for the packaging. The other product in the trio, of course, is a highlighter. And again, I was already ordering the single, way more intense, way more enticing highlighter from this collection. So I just didn't really feel like I needed to purchase the Face Trio. Now, if the Face Trio had unique shades that weren't otherwise available, other than the highlighter in her range, and honestly the highlighter in the trio didn't look super special, like I'm sure it's nice, but if she had had more unique shades in it, maybe I would have. Okay, so I just realized I was so excited to get to the blush that I didn't do my eyeliner or mascara. So give me a second to do that and then we'll get to the highlighter. So on my eyes, I did pop on Pat's Dark Star Mascara. It was my first time using it. I have a Deluxe Mini from a Sephora sample kit, so I'm trying to decide if I want to redeem for this one to be my full size. Of course, I'm wearing my Tom Ford Eye Defining pen. And then I just popped on the Classic from Charlotte Tilbury in black as my waterline. Okay, so now we are on to something so, so beautiful. We have the highlighter. So I'm gonna just start off really quick with the packaging. The packaging doesn't do much for me, but the inside with the little naked angel baby, so cute. It's kind of weird that the crown is kind of off center, but I just like to think that it was in the center and then the naked angel baby was kind of reaching for it and just kind of poked it on. So let's get to the highlighting. Guys, this is so, so glittery. So I'm going with my Refer 18 brush, and I'm just going to just start with a little bit. We're just gonna kind of buff into the skin here. Okay, interesting. So on the skin, it's a little bit more of a white gold, whereas in the pan, I thought it'd be a little bit more opal, but it is really, really, really shimmery. I will say if you're somebody who has a lot of texture on your skin, this highlighter might not be for you. It does have a little bit of almost a glitter in it. But one thing I do want to do though is to really brighten up my inner corner. So I'm going to actually go in with my Refer 12 brush and just try to pop a little bit of it right on the inner corner to just really open that part of my eye up. And then I'm also just gonna pop it under my brow. These are the eyeshadow shades, and then this is the highlighter. Look at that reflect, and oh, that beautiful blue. I am so happy with how this look turned out. I love the softness of the blush. I love the shimmer of the highlighter. And I just love the way that Blitz Astral just brings it all together. I think that shade honestly makes the entire palette worth it. And I am just over the moon with how it's come together. So this collection had 4 main pieces. Of course, it had that beautiful eyeshadow palette. It also had 2 highlighters, one that was more of an opal shade and the other that was a really, really bright and bold gold. And then we also had a blush palette. So I chose to purchase the eyeshadow palette and the opal highlighter. Honestly, I felt like the gold highlighter was not designed for me, and that is 100% okay. Now the face palette had 2 blushes that are already in her collection and then a newer, or at least what we believe to be a newer highlighter. I will say at first glance the highlighter looked very similar to the highlighters that she released with her Christmas collection. Now the blushes that were in the palette were Nymphette and Cherish. So Nymphette is just a beautiful, softer pink, the kind of blush shade I really enjoy, and Cherish is definitely a brighter and bolder pink. Now I decided to take a pass on the face palette because, I mean, why would I want a second-rate highlighter when this piece of beautifulness was already released in the collection? I would have rather have seen 3 blushes in that palette, and I think it would have been really cool if one of the blushes was a shade that's not already available. The other reason it was really easy for me to take a pass is when Pat released her blushes, I did pick up a few of them. I have 4 in my collection right now, and I'm very happy with where my blush collection from Pat is at. When I saw Cherish, it didn't really speak to me, and it doesn't speak to me in the palette. Nymphette, on the other hand, is such a beauty. I have her as a single, and I just didn't really feel the need to have her in custom packaging. But, I mean, the eyeshadow palette, that's obviously the star of the collection, and let's just say that this highlighter is definitely a diamond of the first order. So in this 6-pan palette, we have Iconic Ingenue, which is described as an opalescent pink champagne highlighter. Art of the Swoon, which is a pastel pink satin matte. Regency Blue, which is the iridescent blue astral, and in my opinion, the star of the palette. Plum Regalia, which is a velvety plum taupe matte. Duchess Divinity, which is a pink platinum metallic, and Love Match, which is a roseberry satin matte. Now, the thing that I find interesting but also frustrating about this palette is this is really just a pink palette with a pop of blue. And look, I love pink. We know that Pat loves pink. Pat does pinks so well. But to me, it's not really a pink show. 2 things that I think would have been really fun. One, if they had released 2 palettes, one of them being more themed around the Bridgertons and sort of sticking into that sort of icy blue, opal, that sort of realm of colors. You know, maybe if we had swapped in like a navy into this palette, if we had swapped in maybe like a beautiful, I mean like this kind of blue, like a cornflower blue, I think that would have been really, really nice. With those 2 shades being more of a matte, or, you know, a matte with just a touch of something, a touch of pearlescence, so we could really blend that into the crease. And then what I think would have been really neat is if they did a second palette that was more in the citrus shades and that was more about the Featheringtons. You know, you could have done something kind of wild, like a pop of orange or a pop of yellow. You could have leaned into those golds. And I think that those 2 palettes, almost having a cool tone palette and a separate warm tone palette, would have been really neat. But to me, the pink just doesn't really have a place in this palette, and I don't love it. I mean, I think the pinks could have gone in the Featherington palette, but to me, the Bridgerton family, blue is their color, and I just think that the pink just wasn't super, super necessary. Now, I know that pink sells well. I know that pink eyeshadow is really having a moment, but I also think that if you're the kind of person who loves Pat McGrath, you probably already have Divine Rose 1 or 2, and you probably already have a ton of pink shades. So I would have loved to have seen more blue. I would have loved to have seen some matte blue, so that way we could really play this up as a blue look. But if you'd like to see me play around more with this palette, maybe in a get ready with me, we can definitely dip our toes into that pink. Well, not our toes. That would be gross. Dip our fingers. We will dip our fingers and more likely dip our brushes into that pink. Now, in terms of formula, this is a made in Italy palette, which means that it is Pat's Italian formula. Her Italian formula is just stunning. It is buttery, it is smooth, it's blendable. It is everything that you want in an eyeshadow palette and more. So seeing that incredible formula in a 6-pan with a Blitz Astral, I think is super, super cool. I found these eyeshadows just a dream to apply, a dream to blend out. And I mean, you guys saw me apply the eyeshadow. You saw my kind of first impressions as we went through it. Absolutely a pleasure to work with this formula. So this is the Bridgerton highlighter, and this is the highlighter that she released in Holiday 2021. And of course the Bumblebee bracelet that my friend Madeline made me. As you can see, the Holiday highlighter is peachier and darker, whereas the highlighter from the Bridgerton collection is more of a really, really soft light gold. I'll start by saying that the packaging for the highlighter is nowhere near as stunning as the palette. I really wish that she had done this at least in a pale blue packaging. I know that she has a pink packaging that she uses for some of the Divine Roses, and I think that but a blue would have been really nice, but that's just me being picky. So when I saw this highlighter, I actually almost didn't purchase it. And that's because I thought it looked so similar to the highlighter released for the holidays. Now the color isn't the only thing that's different. The Bridgerton highlighter has a naked flying angel baby where you can see its little butt cheeks. I'll also note that the crown is a little bit off center, whereas the crown in the holiday one is perfectly in the middle. I think it is really pretty. I mean, I'm wearing it on my cheeks right now. Is this a highlighter that I would reach for every day? No. No, it is not. Is this a highlighter that I think will be fun to wear on YouTube and that I think is like a fun collector's piece? Of course. Now, if this is the kind of thing that matters to you, I will flag that the holiday highlighter has 8.5 grams of powder, whereas the Bridgerton highlighter has 10.5 grams of powder. Now, the only reason that doesn't really matter to me is honestly, these highlighters are massive and I really just don't see myself ever hitting pan on it. Now, across the board, this is a beautiful collection. If you are somebody who loves Pat McGrath's formula and you love Bridgerton, of course you're going to enjoy this collection. But if you're so-so on Pat or you're so-so on Bridgerton, I can't really imagine that this is something you desperately need in your collection. There are definitely a lot of products in this collection that we've already seen something similar already done by Pat. So if you're looking for something super innovative or truly unique, you probably don't need this. But this packaging is gorgeous. The products are beautiful. The blue shimmery shade, oh my goodness, you guys. I don't think that this is a must-have collection, but I do think that this is a nice-to-have collection. Now, the collection currently is sold out, but on her website, she does have an option to join the waiting list. So I'm gonna leave that linked down below for you guys if you are interested in adding any of these pieces to your collection and getting notified when they're back in stock. Overall, I am happy to have these products in my collection. I think this is a really fun launch. I did outline some ways that I would have maybe approached it and I would have done it differently, but would I complain if she did like a part 2 to this collection? Like, no. Would I buy it? Yes. So anyways, I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments if this collection excites you, if it entices you, if this is something that you've already purchased and you're waiting for it to arrive, if this is something that has caught your eye. I'd love to hear all of that down in the comment section below. Also, let me know if you'd like to see me play with this a little bit more and dip into those pinks. Now, if you haven't already, please subscribe because here at Classy on the Run, we love talking about luxury and high-end makeup and beauty. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye. Mwah.